let's say 0 to 6 months, self play is what's really great for them, because they are determining how much, how far they're going. Playing with other dogs or puppies of the similar size and age and energy level. So those can be interchanged a little, with the most important being that energy level. And why I say that is I have a little 5-pounder. You'll meet her later in the presentation. And she does play with bigger dogs, but not 11-month-old puppies and things like that. But dogs of the same energy level that play respectfully with her, she'll play with them. So that's very important. We wouldn't put our little puppy, our 3-month-old, with a 12-month-old if that 12-month-old is going to be all rough and, tumble. Self-directed play is so important. That's where they're determining. So let's say you're on your sniffy walk and they're climbing over a log. They're, scattering around. They're moving, and you might not notice, but we don't notice as much under our feet, but the ground is uneven and unstable, and that is teaching them how to balance and counterbalance and things like that. Balance work is also good for them, but again, this is going to be short periods of time, 2-minute session. Formal training skills, but again, short periods of time. 2-minute sessions are very nice. 5-minute sessions as they get older. You can have multiple through the day, but keeping it short, keeping it simple, ending on a good note goes a long way. You make your training fun and they're going to enjoy it, have them be the participant and have it be their choice in what they're doing. So things to avoid at that age, that 0 to 6 month age: long walks, walking up hills. So you have to really watch if you're out on trails. Flat trails are one thing, but other trails might be just too strenuous, especially on those legs. Young puppies up to 6 months should not be exercised with the intent to increase strength or endurance. That's usually when someone's taking them out for a jog and things like that, doing agility work, jumping over things. They should not be doing those things. Sudden stops, turns, things like that are all very hard on hips and joints. So we just have to watch that no matter what we're doing. But I wanted to start this session off with keeping your puppy in mind. We keep it age appropriate, ability appropriate, and their growth, where they're at in their stage of growth. So we're going to move on forward with our topic of balance. Balance is a pretty complex system. It requires both mental and physical fitness for us, for our dogs, for everyone. Our dogs depend on, several systems to keep themselves upright. Their inner ear, and that helps them with, sensing their head motions, where they're going, things like that. And it also plays an important role, as does their proprioception system, which relays the feeling of the ground beneath their feet. That's why sometimes, like, wearing booties and things like that might interfere with them being able to tell exactly where their feet are. And that's why we don't do that with our puppies as puppy raisers. And that's something that our instructors will work through if it's needed later. Also, of course, their vision. It informs them of obstacles coming up and things like that. And lucky for us, our exercises aren't going to depend on our dog taking a free ride on our back doing push-ups, because I think that might be a little difficult with some of us with the 60-pounders or bigger, huh? So my first part is all going to be on the baby puppies. Then I'll move into the adults. Same skills that we're going to work on. We're working on static and dynamic balance for both situations. However, I just separated them. So this first one is our sorry, static balance. And I'm going to let this run first. I have the video here. It's going to explain a lot through the video. I'm working with a young puppy, about 7 weeks old, and it'll cover it, and then we'll go over the steps that are here. But the static balance helps to strengthen core and forearm muscles. So here comes a little 7-week-old. He's pretty excited because he's in the fun pen, and his little sister is in the pen right behind us, making all kinds of noise because she wants to play. So hang tight here. I'm going to pause that a minute because the timing of my voiceover wasn't great. I was showing you a foam platform for a second. That is not static. That would be dynamic. So I was kind of showing you the difference, and the timing wasn't perfect. So I just want to make sure you know, when I was showing you the foam that kind of gave when I pinched it, that would be for dynamic. This is a very firm platform. A book, a cafeteria tray flipped over, you could put a yoga mat on it. This one is made out of just that foam insulation, but it's that hard cell foam, that pink hard cell foam, and then it's covered. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to apologize right now. I thought I took out the background video or the background voice, and I did a voiceover, but it's my first time doing it. And it sounds like I have two going on. So if that gets annoying, I'm going to shut the volume down, and I hopefully can then just, maybe I corrected it, but if not, I will turn the volume off and I will talk through it here. I'm going to let it play for a couple more seconds and see if it gets corrected. Okay, let me see if I can mute it, and I'll talk through it this way. So again, the only reason I turned them sideways was so that you could see them. I do want to point out that I tossed the treat down low and in front of him for him to get off. I could also lure him off, but I'm going to lure with my hand low. I don't want him jumping off. It's important that for the little puppies, they use a low platform. There, that's all good. So sorry. A low platform for security, keeping them close to the ground and things like that, and stable. we're going to use, and I'm now going to just go over these steps real quick. We're going to use the kibble or treats to encourage our pup to approach the platform. If they look at it, if they smell it, if they step on it, it doesn't matter. The slightest interest in the platform, if you're doing it for the first time, the slightest interest, that's what you're going to reward. And let them come back on their own to it. Then you can gradually lure them up if they don't want to just get on it themselves. But you will see in the next video. So that's the first time that puppy has ever probably been asked to put 2 paws up. And in the next video, he moves to the dynamic balance and readily keeps coming back. He quickly learned that that is a great place to be and rewards happen. But again, keep the session short, keep it free choice. All right, we are going to go to the next one, which is our paws up on a balance disc. This is a dynamic balance because in this case, they're constantly moving. You might not think that that disc, it's pretty flat, it's pretty big, increases that much difficulty, but it does. It's constantly moving, so the puppy has to, counterbalance. It's just a fluid motion. And follow-up sessions when you're working with your puppy, and only once they're comfortable on it, so not in that first few sessions, later down the line, then you can start adding things like maybe asking them to sit when they're on that disc. And it doesn't have to be a disc. It could be if you have a flat pillow, not a fluffy pillow that would toggle too much, but a flat pillow, a flat cushion, something that like that foam piece that I showed you that had some give to it. Any of those are fine. Something fairly flat and balanced. Then you can start asking for skills as they develop, not right in the first few sessions, and not when they're little babies. So I'm going to let this one play, and hopefully the voiceover works just fine on this one.
Mary Lynn, there is no sound. So, Mary Lynn, can you hear me okay?
Yes, VJ.
Yeah, there's no sound on the videos.
Oh, I'm so sorry, because I shut it off on the no, I didn't.
Yeah, there's no sound that's coming through.
I am so sorry. Thank you for letting me know.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
says that the volume's on, so no, I'm not sure. Let me. Do you have volume now?
I can hear you, but there's no sound coming from the video.
Okay. Is Mary here? It must have been when I stopped it on the last one. Now I lost it somehow, and I don't know why, because how I stopped it, I've fixed it. All right. I will talk through it and leave that's I wish I knew how to fix it. I'm so sorry. Okay. So as far as our dynamic, I am really making this free choice for this puppy. I'm encouraging him to come on it. I'm even dropping kibble on it. I'm building value in being on that disc. And I want you to notice, we might not look at it like it's any big deal, but you look at how his feet are moving on there, how the disc gives as he goes, and he has to counterbalance. That is really teaching him a great deal, yet he is all free choice to come and go as he wants on there. And that's what's really important. Again, as far as with the dynamic, being that it moves all over and that, they don't need to hold any position. With the static, we were kind of holding a position, not so much with our little pups, but you'll see with our older ones, we kind of hold the position. Here I'm adding that, I'm noticing that my disc is a little slippery for him. I'm adding this on top of it. It has much more traction. It's a little rubbery. And this is where I want you to notice, this is his second 30-second session. And you will see he keeps going. Number one, doesn't want to leave it. I'm trying to encourage him to come off. Again, my hand low, encouraging him to walk off in a safe manner. And this is where your hand targeting is going to really come into play. You can guide them off with your hand targeting as they get older. If you weren't part of the session when I did the nose touch hand targeting last, that has been recorded and put back up there. But I want you to see right now, this puppy's fully aware that good things happen up there and is very comfortable getting up on there and balancing himself and so on. But what we have to remember is this takes a lot of energy because that's moving all over the place, and puppies aren't all that developed. They don't have that core strength in that. That's why they're, you know, floppy, right? So just keep that very, very short and very safe. And it's not about what he can do when he's up there. It's about him having a positive experience and a positive engagement with it. So don't worry so much if they don't get their paws up the first time and things like that. That does not matter. All right, so we're gonna now work on back to the paws up on the pedestal. So again, we're back to the static, but this is an older pup. He's probably about 10 months old here. And first off, I had to use an old video. And second off, this is when COVID first hit and shutdown first happened. So I was moving parents in and out of my house, as you can tell. So excuse that. And I know, like I said last time, training your jammas, here I am training in my jammas. So you'll see, this is just how it goes. I didn't know it was going to be shown today. So here we go. So with our older pups, once they have, you know, more coordination.
Barry Lynn, I think we lost your voice there.
I don't understand how to fix it. I'm so sorry. Give me one more chance. Everything on my end looks like we should have volume. Okay.
Maybe you could just play the video and just talk about it, Barry Lynn, because sometimes that volume's special.
Okay. All right. I will just talk through it. Let me mute it on my end so it doesn't drive me crazy. So here, what I did, just like with the puppy, or more so with him, you're going to hold your treat fairly low, about the middle of your platform. And you don't need, he's been on a platform before. If your puppy hasn't, and we're talking again, older puppy, then you would start with something lower than this even. You wouldn't start right up with the full legs. It doesn't have to be one of these climbs. It can be, you know, something I saw with the Wisconsin group was great. They used plastic shelves, and instead of, you know, making their shelves, they covered that with the that foam mat and made their own little platforms like that. They were wonderful, and you get 5 shelves in one unit. But you can pretty much use anything. You could use a board. It doesn't really matter. You can use a step stool. You want it big enough though so that they're secure. I am just bringing him up, my treat towards the middle of the platform, bring just 2 paws up. I'm looking for that, alignment like that. This is your static balance, so I'm not asking for movement. And now I'm going a little taller with him, but again, keeping his spine in line and just asking for front paws only, standing there. And then you can, anyway, I could then, if I wanted, just gradually ask him to bring his legs down and walk him off. So, I'm sorry, 1 second, it's not changing for me. Here are the steps, basically the same exact way we did with the puppy. We're going to start low on a rigid platform board, a book, a tray. We're going to encourage our puppy to approach and explore the platform by using kibble. If they're already used to it, you can go ahead and lure to a paws up. And again, you're going to have your treat towards fairly low and towards like the middle of the platform, and just wait for them to step on up and reward them for being up there, and lure the feet up. And you're going to keep them in the correct position and reward for that. And only raise the platform when your puppy is comfortable, when they're ready, and when physically and mentally, though, they're ready. They need to be old enough. And just because they're, let's say, 10 months, if they haven't done this, we don't need to jump to a high platform right off the bat. And we're only talking front feet. Just allow your puppy to nibble or lick the treat from your hand, and that will maintain that position for him while he's balancing in that static balance. Okay, so next we're going to do the older puppy, but now on the dynamic. So he's going to be on the balance disc. I'm going to make sure the volume is off since it's not working, and I will talk through it then. I was so excited about that feature. All right, so here, just like with the puppy, I have a low flat disc. And again, he's done this before, so I'm going to move faster than I would advise for someone who hasn't done it yet. It doesn't matter their age, take your time. So he's very comfortable getting his front feet up there. So I raised it up. Now I want you to really look at how that moves and how he has to adjust his body. I'm not asking for him to maintain any position. I can move him through that and off. This works different, but different body parts like that. I can move him up there and ask for a sit. All of that is working different muscles. I'm going to move on to, whoops, hold on. I'm going to move on to building on those. And we don't do this quickly. My little guy, the one you just saw, my Toller, he, like I said, I think he was probably about 10 to 12 months old there. He wasn't ready to move on to other things. So I'm showing you with my little dog. She's 3 years old in this and's been doing it for a while. So you'll see some things in here that she's able to do because she's built up her confidence. So not only, like I've said many times, does this work on strength and building core and all that, it works on a relationship with you, trust with you, confidence for them, different, they're going to encounter uneven surfaces. They're going to encounter different textures in life. All of these things help them prepare for it, but in a very positive manner and very rewarding. So it makes those other things that might have been scary, not so scary because your pup's more confident. So here, so I'm just again asking for the paws on. I made it a little taller for her. Now this one starts working the full body. It again does not have to be these fit bones. It can be a pillow. It can be a cushion. It can be, but you want it to be something that has some give. You could use towels or blanket and do that. You could use a board and you could put something under it that makes it wobble just a little. So pool noodle or a towel or something, make it wobble. The different ways I lay out the fit bones, though, either long and skinny or the other way, helps work different muscles in her shoulders as well. Now, you'll see for her, there's spaces here. In the beginning, I didn't have spaces. I had them all touching very close, but now I have spaces. You'll also see, I'm going to show you, I am free of treats. Sometimes they can get too excited if you have kibble in your hands, and they're not watching their feet when they're too excited. So I purposely show them that I don't have anything in my hands, and then ask them to walk with me using my hand as that hand target to follow. So yep, I'm showing no, but she's going anyway before I even asked her. She really enjoys it. And that's teaching her a lot about coordination, rear end, awareness, and balance, building core strength, the whole shot all in one. Very simple little exercises, but they do so much. Okay, so again, we'll just go over the steps. I really think as the different skills are asking for more, one thing I want you to notice on this photo, this is not my dog, on this photo, if you notice how full those fit bones are, the fuller they are, the more difficult because they wobble more. So, and you don't want to fill them completely full. This is fine. This is an experienced dog, but you wouldn't want them bigger than that where they turn kind of round. So if you end up using these type of things, but again, you don't need to. Pillows work great. There's a lot of things that work very well. So, but what I was going to say, as you build on the skills and it gets a little more difficult, I feel not using treats, not using kibble works very well. Using your hand target, keeping it low so that they can see their feet as well as your hand, guiding them, and reward once they get to the other end. And they'll quickly learn that. The other thing, you do want it slow and controlled. We're not racing through this. We want them to think. Most of my training is through Do More With Your Dog and Kira Sundance, and she calls this, the whole balance portion, is a lot like Tai Chi for humans. And, it is a dance and it is a flow and it is controlled movement. So the goal is not fast. The goal is definitely slow, and you want your pup thinking. So if they're all, crazy about the treat, use a lower value treat or don't use it. Use your hand reward at the end. As the pup gains confidence, then you can ask for different positions. So I could ask for a sit, or like I asked for Moose to stand. I asked her to sit on the thing. But the same objective. You can ask for different things. You can ask them to turn their head, look down, look up, things like that. And anytime they move in a direction, do a nose touch. That is going to change their balance, and they're going to have to counterbalance. Well, that was my goal, is to keep this one shorter so we had more time for question and answers. But I also want to say, if you try these, if you want a video, I would love it. If you would send me the videos, I would love to see them. If you don't care if I share them, we can share them in the next one. I would also love it if you could start by doing one, just a brief one when they're first starting out. And then maybe when you're further along, it would be nice to see the difference. And it's nice for you, even if you, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to end the slideshow. But it's nice for you because you can then compare how they're doing, as they gain that balance, as they gain, confidence and things like that. So I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to keep working on canine fitness. I'm going to keep it smaller like I did today. A couple of my other ones were just too much, too fast. So, but any questions, please go ahead and raise your hand. Oh, here's a question right here from Pam, and she's asking if target equals touch. It certainly does. So when I'm talking about nose touch, we worked on it last time. And I call it targeting. It is our touch on page 50 in our puppy raiser manual. It goes over it in detail in our manual on how to teach it. And I did a do-over on the last session, which I think taught it really well with little puppies too. So take a look at that. It was recorded. It is in our virtual library. And I think, you know, if you need a hand with going through it, shoot me an email, but that video really walks through it pretty well. So yes, it is target equals, when I'm talking about hand target, yes, I'm talking about nose touch to hand, yes. Any other questions? Let me see if there's any hands up. Oh, there's a hand up. Kathy, go ahead and unmute and let me know what's going on.
When you were doing the little baby puppy, it looked like that was a Bosu you were using, and like when you had the little baby puppy or your little puppy, you were using those things that look like bones. The point is, are those things that we can borrow from Leader Dog?
They're not, we don't have them to borrow from Leader Dog as far as I know. We have some equipment that we use for training sessions there, and that's why I'm saying you don't need the fancy equipment. Those, most of them are what they're called as fit paws, FITPAWS. However, the ones that, some of them that I got, they're not fit paws. They're just human. It's funny, you pay a lot less for a human one than you do for the dog one on Amazon. I think I got the round ones that my little dog was on for $9 a piece, where the fit paws ones, which are great, but I think they're more like $39 a piece. That first one you said though, that's, I don't have one of those. Did you call it a Bosu? I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but those have a flat bottom and then a round ball. They're almost like an inflatable yoga ball on top, like a half ball. Both of the ones I was using are inflatable discs. It's just one was huge. The one I used for the little puppy was very big, so she could get her whole body on it and feel secure and so on. And because I can get it nice and flat. And again, I got that one on Amazon. It's big, it's 26 inches, and I got it for under $20. The other thing is Facebook Marketplace always has things like that, but they're in their balance or core building and mostly for humans. And as soon as you put the dog title on it, they triple in price. But pillows work great. They really do. Pillows, cushions. If you had an old, the orthopedic pads, you know, eggshell, what are egg crate pads that go on beds, I cut pieces of that and use that. Anything works. Just to give a little, you see, it didn't take much.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right, well, I hope I see some videos. I would love to see some videos. And seriously, any questions you have, I would be happy to work. Oh, Mark, you have a question? I see another hand up.
Yes, I was wondering, when would you introduce maybe moving their back feet around that raised platform?
Well, I wouldn't do it on a platform because it's so big. We will get to moving the back feet. We did the ladder work to get some rear end. I'm kind of going in a certain order, but what I like to use for teaching to move the back end, if you're talking, I think I know what you're talking about, to do like an orbit where they're staying in heel position, let's say, and I circle around. What I like to use are the feed bowls. This is a giant one. This is not what I'm talking about, but it's a livestock. Oh, I have to get closer because I see I'm blurred. It's a livestock feed bowl. They're rubber feed bowls. I use a much smaller one to teach the orbit. Um, and it is a great technique, and we will be doing that in one of them. We're going very slow here, building the pieces. Building your foundation is so important. Number one, you want your dog to really enjoy it. And I know a lot of you have older puppies and you've been doing it. By all means, then yes, you can do that. But I wasn't, now as far as going around that big square platform, that's a long way to go around, I think, if you're asking to move those rear feet all the way around. You could. I would use a smaller platform where he could stay in a better position and not be so camped out to go around, that's all. Oh, Kathy, you have a
Thank you, Mary
oh,
Lynn.
did that answer? Sorry.
Yeah, with my older puppy,
Yep,
the one I just turned in a while in January, I was using the paw pad and she was going around doing the orbit on the paw pad.
perfect.
And
Paw
she,
pad is very nice because it's so much smaller. You
yeah,
can keep her in good position. Absolutely. Yep. Or you could even, just like you made your paw pad, make a 8x8 or 10x10 square and do that too instead of the feed bowl. You know, if you wanted a square one, make that your heel position and just go around in heel position. And we will do that. That
yeah,
will be one that we do coming up.
because I made my paw pad just out of a 2x4
Oh,
and a paint stick. And so
wonderful.
you put two 2x4s together and you've got it could do that orbit easier. But mine was doing it on just the one 2x4.
That's wonderful. That's some great awareness there. And I'm sure that's something that you gradually worked up with them.
Yeah,
So good for you.
thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. Let's see. How about Mary? You have your hand raised. Mary, go, you want to go ahead and unmute?
I think Beverly was first, so I'll let her go
Oh,
first.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know when they come up. Beverly, do you? Hi, Beverly.
Hi. I'm wondering if there are specific uh, characteristics that we would look for in dogs that specifically we might want to utilize any of these exercises for.
I'm not sure I understand the question. Are you saying
Well,
like,
I understand these exercises would be good for any dog,
right?
and I can see that. But, you know, I'm a counselor, and so, you know, some raisers, you know, particularly maybe a new raiser, may not have seen this beautiful presentation and may not be aware of these. And if I'm seeing a particular dog with, say, particular characteristics,
Okay.
is there something special that we should look for and say, oh, this is a dog that would really benefit from this?
It is a confidence builder. So right there, you know, all of them benefit from it. But things like some dogs were having a hard time getting into a car because of the rear end awareness. The ladder works great for that, but this also works great for that. When they start doing the longer lines like my little dog was doing, she had to pay attention. But simple things, even like our pickup sticks, and if anyone's on here that don't know what I'm referring to, this was another session we did, and it was pickup sticks and a ladder, and it was to help with rear end awareness. But those are some things you would look for. Even if you saw a puppy that was kind of shy, kind of maybe needed to build that confidence, these are great things for that. But this is also things that will help develop them for the long run. They're eventually going to have a job that's going to require stamina, strength, strong bones. By strengthening core muscles, we're protecting joints. So all of that is important. But dynamic and the static balance and the other skills we've been working on, those help right now through development. Now, I wouldn't say like if I saw someone, um, I can't think of something where if someone was in my class them doing, other than maybe building the trust, building the relationship with the handler? Even, I think it's great for the little puppies too, especially like you're teaching a lot at that same time. Not only the balance, but you're teaching your marker word yes. You are teaching reward. All of the, you're teaching engagement. So all of that has them coming back to you. So it's a relationship builder and confidence builder.
Yeah, I can understand all that. I'm just looking at the whole picture and looking as at a dog developing, and
I guess
later.
if you saw someone that you thought was lacking muscle tone or something, but I really don't usually see that on our pups. We're out walking them, we're playing with them, we're doing things, but core muscles, those take time. And so usually the biggest thing that I notice is not knowing they have a rear end. So that's all of these help with that. Not being able to, maybe get into the car, or like Kathy was saying, not able to do that heel in position. If I, have them in heel and I turn to my right, not able to shuffle those rear feet, or not thinking about the rear feet where they're just following their front. All of this teaches them that they actually have four legs, four limbs, and can move those independently.
Okay. So this all coordinates with the rear leg awareness.
Certainly. All that counterbalancing, yes. And that's also why we need to keep it short. It's mental and it's physical. And counterbalancing, we think it's nothing, but as they're sitting there just in their sit and have to counterbalance, muscles are engaging that whole time.
Can I do a follow-up question also?
Sure.
You talked about the development of the bones and about the dogs playing. I'm always concerned with the pups. They have these bursts of energy, and a lot of us refer to it as the zoomies. They'll just get these bursts of energy, and they will start to run like crazy. And if they have the space to be able to run, and my dogs do, because we have a fairly large fenced-in area where they can just run, how much is too much?
When it's self-play and self-regulated, you don't have that much to worry about. Now, an overtired puppy, usually that's when zoomies come, is that it's a combination, just like a child who's up past his bedtime. But I wouldn't worry about running in the backyard for that short burst for, it goes 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Self-play is one of the best things for them. Now, playing with a bigger dog, like I was saying, and doing body slams or sharp turns and zigzags, that stuff's not good. But self-play, and they're running and they're going over things, that's all part of development and mental development. So that's good.
So I shouldn't worry anymore.
No. And I know it's like when I show that slide, it's like everyone, don't put them in a bubble, because not enough exercise is real bad too. But it's just, sometimes we, want the star puppy in that, and we want them to do everything yesterday, and that's not necessary. You just want to build a relationship, build confidence, just like, yeah.
Okay, well, when she comes sliding into home base, then I won't worry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Beverly. All right, Mary?
Yeah, I just have a question. You showed a lot of forward movement with your videos. Do you move them backwards and forwards?
I do, but like I was telling Mark, I'm just trying to break things down into very small steps. And I know a lot of raisers here are probably beyond this, but we also have a lot of new raisers coming up, or not even new raisers, but new puppies that are just making it to home. So that's why I did it the way I did. But we will do some rear end things. I cut out on my dogs. I did some backing up onto the platforms and things like that, which I will show later as we progress. I just really want to build a strong foundation here, and we will get to rear end things like the orbit, like backing up onto a target mark and things like that, where they can back up in heel position. We'll work on different things like that too.
And then how about treating with the head up and the head down? Is that?
So if we are working on stretches, then you can bring their nose down a little, bring their nose to the side, bring their nose to the other side, and reward as you go. Otherwise, if you're talking about in that static balance on the platform, we kind of really want that spine all in line from the back to the head to the nose. And that's the goal on that one. But you can still move them around a little bit as well. And they will follow either your hand target, so you can be doing, touch, or you can be luring with a treat and rewarding.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Well, I'm so glad everyone could join me. Again, send me the videos. I'd love to see it. And if at very least, video yourself before you get started, or your first session, and then maybe, in a week or two, and just take a look at the difference. I learned so much when I go back and watch my videos, and it's so much easier to see how I could do things differently, like holding the treat too high, and he's not watching his feet and tripping on things, those kind of things. Asking him to step off gently and slowly. So anyway, I hope you do. And if you decide to send it to me, my email address was at the top of here, and it's on the emails as well. So thank you again for joining, and I look forward to seeing you again. Have a great evening, everyone.
Hey, VG.